from Anti-Corruption Scotland via Manchester. But he's here, folks.
Hi, here in Manchester. Anybody got a problem? I hope not, because there's too many of you. Alright, listen. The government has admitted that it spends 1.6 billion in terms of housing unlawful, unwanted migrant males in hotels, hostels and HMOs. Now that's the official figure, so you could probably double it, treble it, okay? Now that is money that could be spent on the veterans, as Josh mentioned. 5,000 veterans homeless, 5,000 living on the streets, 5 a week committing suicide. That is money that could be spent on our pensioners, our indigenous homeless people. Now, on top of that money as well, even more so, and I'm going to talk about the remedy for this, they are spending a fortune in terms of people trafficking. Your government, well, not our government, the government are people traffickers. Do not listen to any bullshit about we can't stop the boats. It's an absolute lie, it's an absolute fallacy. They could do that within 24 hours and they know it. So do not listen to that bullshit from those human rights lawyer fake parasites. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what I want to talk about, that's the problem. We've got our women and children living in fear and terror because there are unlawful, unwanted migrant men from culturally incompatible countries walking our streets who think women are easy targets, women are chattels. They even think our children are sexual targets, and they act accordingly. You've got rampant paedophiles walking the streets. Let's call it as it is. Let's not gild the lily. That's reality for the women in this country. That's 24/7 for them. I've got friends, good friends, strong women, strong Glasgow women who will not go outside in the evening, who will not go outside at night time because they're living in fear. Simple as that. Who put them there? The corrupt, paedophile, enabling government put them there, basically. Let's say it as it is. Right, we've got potential remedy. Potential remedies to turn the tap off, to stop giving these reptile parasites money. The easiest way, the best way to do that, in my opinion, is through council tax. Council tax is a fraud. It's a fraud because they are not local authorities. They've been registered as corporations since 1972 to 73, when Edward Heath and his corrupt Tory government took the UK unlawfully into what was then the common market, basically. So every time you get a council tax reminder or a council tax bill, that is fraudulent misrepresentation. Now Google that, do a bit of research and think how that impacts on your life. You've got 150, 200, 250 quid a month to find. That could be going to your children. That could be food on your table. That could be a holiday in Blackpool, which is my dream. No, it's not really. I mean, I've been there 1,000 times. My granddad, I love my granddad. So anyway, where was that? Yeah, council tax, it's a fraud. Secondly, all that money that's collected fraudulently goes down to Westminster and he's put in something called a consolidated fund. That is basically the bank account of the corrupt British government. Only 20% of that is then returned to these fraudulent local authorities. 20%. Nothing more, basically. So that's what's been used to pay for, supposedly, your local services. And you can rest assured that 80% is being used to people traffic, it's being used to spray the skies, and it's being used to keep our women and children living in terror. Now, I don't subscribe personally to the United Nations Army. I mean, have you seen the state of most of those guys? Honestly, they couldn't run 20 metres. You know what I mean? But what happens when you've got that kind of negative presence in our community, in our society. It destabilizes that society. It's a negative influence, a massive negative influence. And it's all tied up with religion, the religion of peace and love, the religion of anti-dog. Okay? That is just a fact. Nothing to do with racism, nothing to do with phobia. That is a living reality for all of us. Now, as men, and I'm glad that there's so many men here, we need to stand up. We need to be the willing protectors of our women and children. Any man who's not prepared to do that cannot call himself a man. He's a weakling. In fact, he needs to be deported. I'll be right with the room. All right. Last point about the fraud. Those courts that we set up, basically. I think it's the 1992 or 1993 Local Government Act. It gives them no powers in terms of judiciary. It just gives them administration powers. So the reality is those courts that they set up in the sheriff courts, etc., are fraudulent courts. There's a principle in law that fraud unravels everything it touches. So the original fraud was 1972-73, and it's been a fraud ever since. Now I want to say about today, it's not political, it's about moral principle, it's about a moral absolute. That moral absolute is the protection of our women and children. It's as simple as that. So, point number one, council tax is a fraud. Point number two, protect our women and children. No excuses, no exceptions, no bullshit, no bullshit. Time to stand up, make a stand, be a man.
Yes.
All right? I forgot my third point. Don't carry away.
Have your chest.
Anyway, it's great to see these faces here. Hopefully numbers will grow and we'll carry on. Do not pay your council tax. And I'll say, just to finish, as an Englishman from Manchester via Galway in Ireland, Scotland for the Scots!